Chances are, if you live almost anywhere in the world, save for maybe the coldest climates near the poles, you've experienced a thunderstorm at some point in your life. A dark cloud rolls in, and before you know it, your outdoor barbecue is interrupted by jagged lightning and booms of thunder. Maybe a little wind and rain to go along with it, forcing everyone to hurry inside. While these thunderstorms may be scary in the moment, and the threat of lightning striking stuff is real, they're usually not that big of a deal in the long run, and usually blow out in a matter of minutes. But what happens if Mother Nature decides to take things up a notch? Well, then we get into severe thunderstorms, which can be disasters that can be remembered for years to come. This video is the third installment in a series where I look at extreme weather events that have affected the world and how they've changed in recent years. If you haven't checked out the previous installments in the series, I'd recommend you check those out. And as always, I'd appreciate you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay tuned for future content. Okay, so what exactly differentiates a severe thunderstorm from your typical full day buster? Well, in order to talk about that, we need to delve into how thunderstorms are formed to begin with. Once again, the process of thunderstorm formation involves warm air rising and cool air sinking. As the warm air rises, it will cool, and if said warm air is moist enough, it will condense into water droplets. The cool air will sink back down, warm up, and rise again. As it turns out, this is how most clouds are formed, since they are basically huge balls of water droplets floating in the air. As you may expect, if this happens on a larger scale, bigger clouds will form. Eventually, the cloud can become big enough for collisions between the ice particles in the cloud to generate enough electrical charge to create lightning. Once lightning starts, the storm has officially acquired thunderstorm status, as thunder requires lightning to happen. Fun fact, the reason we hear thunder after a lightning strike is because lightning bolts themselves can be 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. This causes the air to expand initially as it is superheated, then quickly contracts as it cools down. This expansion and contraction is so rapid it generates a loud boom, aka thunder. Sometimes thunderstorms will generate a lot of lightning, but no rain, whether it be due to a lack of moisture to begin with, or the storm isn't big enough to produce rainfall. When this happens, it's known as dry lightning. It can be extremely dangerous as it can spark wildfires, a phenomenon I may cover in a future video. Okay, so these are what regular thunderstorms are like. But what about severe ones? Well, according to the National Weather Service, a thunderstorm is classified as severe when it has hail more than 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters in diameter, winds greater than 57 miles per hour or 91 kilometers per hour, or a tornado of any strength. Each of these impacts have a different underlying cause of their own. Hail forms when the updraft associated with a thunderstorm is strong enough to keep the ice particles up there for long enough to freeze together into bigger structures, with the size of the hail determined by how long they had time to freeze. Strong winds happen when rain forces cold air associated with the thunderstorm downward, eventually forcing said air to spread out over Earth's surface. If the downdraft is strong enough, this can cause some extremely violent winds to form. But perhaps the most interesting thing a severe thunderstorm can have is a tornado. Tornadoes happen when the convection of air causes spinning air currents to form within the cloud, and if these currents drop from the cloud, they form the extremely tight vortex of spinning air that is a tornado. Oftentimes, tornadoes and other aspects of severe thunderstorms are born out of a special type of thunderstorm called a supercell, which are especially strong and long-lasting thunderstorms that have their own special properties. However, a supercell is not required for a thunderstorm to have severe qualities. So, where do severe thunderstorms happen? Well, to be honest, really anywhere a normal thunderstorm can. However, warmer and more humid conditions certainly help these storms become more severe. In the US, these thunderstorms are the most common in the Great Plains states where there's frequently a collision between warm and cold air, as well as in the southern and eastern states where it's hotter and more humid in general. These areas are known as Tornado Alley, since they have a significantly greater rate of tornadoes than anywhere else on the planet. Other places around the world are known for intense thunderstorms, with the deadliest tornado on record having taken place in Bangladesh, a South Asian country and a region known for its hot and humid weather. Similarly, a region in northern Argentina and southern Brazil has near identical conditions to the ones found in the US Great Plains, but has fewer tornadoes on average. Overall, anywhere that's warm enough to support thunderstorm formation in general can get the short end of the stick. So, what are the impacts of severe thunderstorms? Well, any one of the three threats, hail, wind, and tornadoes, can cause some serious damage on their own. Hail has been known to destroy everything from crops to cars to full-fledged houses if it's bad enough, with some of the worst hailstorms in American history racking up billions of dollars in damages. Wind, as I covered in the hurricane video, has the power to lift homes off of the ground, though usually severe thunderstorms don't have that level of wind across the whole storm. However, tornadoes can be and are extremely potent disasters, and unlike a hurricane, it is usually next to impossible to tell whether one is occurring based off of radar alone, with the only possible indicator being the storm itself rotating, a metric that can be extremely inconsistent and result in numerous false positives. To make matters worse, the strongest tornadoes are often rain wrapped, which essentially means a sheet of rain is hiding them from view. Tornadoes often carve a path of destruction that can be over a mile wide and hundreds of miles long. And if one hits in a densely populated area with little warning, the effects can be devastating. The aforementioned Bangladesh tornado killed over 1,300 people. So, with all this in mind, what can you do to protect yourself against severe thunderstorms? Well, first and foremost, thunderstorms are extremely unpredictable, with some places getting hammered with wind, rain, and hail, and other places being left high and dry. As a result, the best course of action is to listen carefully to weather reports from reputable sources like the NWS, NOAA, and your local news station. If there is any risk of severe weather, it is best to stay inside, as the weather can change in an instant. These precautions are valid regardless of which type of severe weather you experience, but if a tornado warning is issued, it is best to go as deep into your home as possible, preferably an area without windows and is underground. This is because you will have more stuff surrounding you if the tornado does hit, or in other words, the tornado will have to go through more to reach you. Severe weather can be and is extremely destructive when it happens, and listening to authorities as well as taking the necessary precautions are vital to ensuring that you emerge unscathed. And that's all I have to say about severe thunderstorms. As always, I would appreciate if you would like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay tuned for future content. Thanks and have a great day.